I have Dollop tour dates to announce for the year 2024 of our Lord J-Town. We have our 10th anniversary show coming up in Los Angeles on April 27th. Guests are Karen Kilgariff and James Adomian. And then we are going to Australia, starting on May 13th in Perth, May 16th in Sydney, May 18th in Brisbane, May 20th in Canberra, May 22nd in Melbourne, and May 24th in Adelaide. You can get your tickets at dolloppodcast.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dollop.
Yeah. That's different. That one actually, that almost hit me. So that's, you see how that's...
Exactly how we rehearsed.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe how well that went.
Our guest is Will Anderson.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know have heard of Will Anderson, but he's our guest. He's a local kid. We saw him the other night. Think he's got some chops. Think if he keeps at it, he might stick around.
July 27th, 1837.
And dates.
They love dates. It's fucking crazy.
Dates and SD card.
Robert Cunningham was born in Canada to Irish parents.
Oh boy. Here we fucking go.
Dave playing to my gift for accents again. Diplomatic immunity.
Into the Anderson wheelhouse. He spoke with an Irish accent his whole life.
Well, here we go.
He preferred to be called R.A. He moved to the United States and served in the California Infantry. He settled in San Francisco and he fell into theater. He worked as everything: stagehand, performer, musician, agent.
Agent.
This led him to touring with circuses.
You better watch those SD cards.
And then freak shows, which led him to the country of Australia.
Just already not good.
I've always said that freak shows are a gateway drug to Australia.
Yeah.
It's like, you like fucked up people? They've got fucked up animals. Get down there.
In the late 1870s, he toured with a group called the Taylor Family Troupe. He was the musical backing for Maddie Taylor.
Huh?
She was a 10-year-old bird impressionist.
I'm glad that that's still a thing that we love.
She did her bird impressions while playing the banjo.
Well, we all know birds.
I love that it's not enough that a 10-year-old can play a fucking banjo or do an impression of a bird. They're like, no, you need two to have a fucking act.
We want both. Get out there, Maddie.
Australians have demands. They demand more than just a fucking bird whistle. The Australians seem to
What
enjoy...
does that mean exactly? Like a bird, is it just whistling, or is she, but while she does it, so she's actually just being like
that. Yes.
Woo, woo, the robin.
That's it. That's the act.
Oh, man. Now I get the charm.
Town and Country wrote, a more dismal performance than the banjo playing and character sketching given by them has seldom been imported, even from America. So they didn't like it, but the Australian people did. They thought it was awesome. They didn't give a shit about the press.
You could still put that on a postcard.
I love even back then there was trolls.
Totally.
Your impression of a kookaburra is shit. I didn't laugh and neither did the kookaburra.
Reader's Digest said first.
So R.A. Cunningham would make trips back and forth between San Francisco and Australia over the next few years. He'd find a job with a new touring company, and off he'd go. Eventually he became an agent who would go out ahead of the tours and set everything up.
Sure.
And he made connections. And over the years in the circus world, he got to know a gentleman named P.T. Barnum.
Oh, fuck.
Famous circus king. Guys like R.A. and P.T. Guys like R.A. saw P.T. as a role model.
So it's R.A. and P.T.
Yep.
So it's just wrapped, hanging out.
And one time R.A. arrived in Australia and found a letter P.T. had sent. I'm
glad you said that because I was going to raped. And
all I'm doing is kicking myself for not going to raped.
no, I was like, oh, somebody's going to write a blog about, oh, I don't think that rape jokes are appropriate, even in a historical, economical sense. Fuck, I'm glad I got that out. Historical, economical? I laid that shit down like I was Eminem. What the fuck?
You're a raptor. A white raptor.
Big, beautiful raptor. So I arrived in Australia on one of his visits and found PT had sent him a letter. PT wanted to bring the American public, quote, all the uncivilized races in existence.
I mean, that is bold.
You know what? Just what Americans want. Who possess extraordinary
Puke? You about to say puke?
peculiarities such as giants, dwarfs, singular disfigurement
Hang on,
of the
wait,
person.
did you say giant dwarf?
Giant, no.
I'm a regular human.
Giants.
Can you believe it? You may throw your garbage at me. I am the giant dwarf. My shoes are the regular size of a man. Can you believe it? Trying to look away, but you can't. I show you the inside of you don't want to look at. And the outside. I'm you. I'm just you.
Aren't we all giant dwarfs?
When we think about it, at the UN, aren't we all a giant dwarf, really? Unless you're a regular dwarf.
I think the giant dwarf made a lot of sense at the UN.
Good. What country was he there for? I represent no land.
Hey, people. There is actually a giant dwarf. There was one. There was a guy who started out as a dwarf and then he got the giantism disease.
What?
It's true. It's true. And if it was American, I'd write about it. It was some fucking European shit. But he was a dwarf and then he turned into a giant. He was like, this is awesome. Oh my God, it's not.
It's like the nightmare version of Big.
Well, it all happened when someone made him angry. That was
size.
too popular a reference.
You wouldn't want to see me angry. I become a dwarf again. You'd probably want to see it, I'll be honest.
So, in 1882, PT's agent sent R.A. a telegram, and he said he wanted to get his hands on, quote, a number of the finest specimens of Australian Aborigines. What?
I mean, we all knew this is where it was going, yet
Not all of us.
It was still worth an ooh when we got there.
PT wanted to put on a show called the Ethnological Congress of Savage Tribes in the next circus. What? You guys, shit was different back then.
No, it wasn't.
Next, 2 months later, Tony Abbott's Ethnological Congress of Savage Tribes goes on tour.
At the UN, a giant dwarf speaks on their behalf.
A giant dwarf in blackface. No, but he's like, no! I'm a minority too! I can do this!
Giant dwarf scandal at UN. UN rocked.
Sorry, I'm just trying to distract from the horrible place I know this is going.
Oh, it's going to a terrible, terrible place. Hello, white people, let's have fun.
I don't know if that's what we want to be saying.
So for R.A., this sounded like hitting the lottery. He was now in his 40s, and this was the break he was waiting for.
Yeah.
He headed north because at this point, most Aboriginal tribes have been wiped out in the south. Congrats. In Tasmania, pretty much all gone. New South Wales, Victoria, not doing so good. So he goes up north to what I think you guys call Queensland.
Queensland?
Yeah, I know, I was fucking with you! Jesus Christ, I've heard that enough.
I was going to let it slide, but I heard the murmuring.
It was a joke. I thought you guys were supposed to get this subtle satire and sarcasm shit. I thought that was your forte.
That and coffee.
Oh, do they like coffee here? So there is still a substantial population of Aborigines in Queensland, and they are about 200,000 people living there. Most of them are getting forced to live in cities, or they're getting they're being put in places they might not want to live.
Like getting office jobs out of nowhere?
Yep, a lot of office jobs. Some are becoming couriers. It's just a good time. Many Aborigines were...
Did you make that joke on purpose? Because the Aboriginal tribe, the kind of most prominent, were the Koori.
Oh, no.
And you just... Because that is a fucking excellent joke.
Well,
They were
thank you.
curious? I mean, that is...
I planned it.
That is maybe the best joke on the topic ever made.
Thank you.
And you've made it like some fucking Rain Man.
Well, did I? You'll find I do a lot of Rain Man stuff when it comes to these topics.
You only fly Qantas.
Never had an accent.
So a lot of Aborigines were being recruited to work on pearling fleets.
Sure.
So by the time P.T. Barnum was looking for Aborigines, they'd gotten used to being offered jobs by passing ships. And then they would return with a bunch of cash, and they'd be like, that was fucking awesome.
Okay.
I mean, probably not, but...
That sounds good.
R.A. Cunningham went to Darwin in December 1882. He quickly talked 5 Aborigines into going with him, and they were about to board the ship when a local cop stopped him and questioned him. R.A. explained what was going on and said the 5 natives understood what they were in for.
Sure they did.
And then the cop told the Aborigines what he was doing, and they ran away.
Typical showbiz story. Happens with most young men when they meet Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
But every now and again,
Yeah. When you win it,
when they stick, One Direction.
Get ready. Yeah. The Aborigine One Direction. They would have a funny name, but I don't have it.
Those Aborigines
They'd be called Boomerang because they were One Direction
Yep.
and then back the other
Yep.
direction.
They would be boom.
We are Two Direction. Yeah, get ready.
They told everyone they knew, and suddenly no one would have anything to do with R.A. in Darwin. So he left Darwin, he jumped on a ship, went to Townsville. Mm-hmm. There he immediately told authorities what he was up to so there wouldn't be any trouble with the local cops.
Sure, be up front.
And the authorities were like, great idea, take a bunch of them.
Interesting.
Welcome to Townsville.
R.A. hired a boat and went to find some very isolated Aborigine camps. He quickly convinced some to go with him. On January 22nd, 1883, he got on a ship going to Sydney with 9 Aborigines.
What did he tell them? He was just like,
I don't know.
do you not want to reveal?
No, he doesn't. It doesn't go into that. We just know that he...
The hard sell is just like, trust me, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
Huh?
You guys, how could this be bad?
You guys like money? You like pussy? Get on this boat. Come on, boys. Yeah. We're going to trade. Your lives. You're going to love PT.
He's great.
He's awesome.
Come on, guys. Everything else the white guys promise you has worked out awesome.
Come on.
Yep. Yeah, so far it's been just a walk in the park for you guys. Come on, get on this ship with a bunch of dwarves.
Not next to that normal freak human.
I'm a giant dwarf!
You are a regular man. Fucking works here. Just keep shouting he's a giant dwarf. Get out of work.
So,
That's the detail. To get out of work. Like, that's the genius. It's like one day this guy's like, fuck this shit.
I'm also a freak.
They don't have to work because they're with the freak show. He's like, no, I'm one too. I'm the giant dwarf.
God damn it. He's good.
I'm the bearded man.
The bearded man. I'm the mermaid, untouched by water.
behold the one with 2 legs. So, the Aborigines were Tony and Jenny, who brought their 8-year-old boy.
Hang on, what?
Tony and Jenny. Yeah.
These
Heartthrob.
are their names.
That
Tony-
were not their name.
Tony and Jenny.
There is no way that were their name.
With their boy. Look, it's their names. Tambo and Sassy, a couple.
Okay, that's worse.
Sassy?
Yeah, it's Sassy.
Okay.
Yep, we've hit something
Tambo and
horrible.
Sassy are fighting again.
It's so only beginning, gentlemen. A young man named Jimmy. There was Bob and Billy. Wow. And another guy whose name no one knows. That guy's gonna be fine.
No, he's not.
Why do you say that? He'll be fine.
He'll be buried shortly. No doubt.
So,
Anyway, back to Sassy.
yeah. When he got to Sydney, he discovered that the next ship to San Francisco was not leaving for weeks. So he booked himself into a hotel room and put the Aborigines in a shack out back. It didn't take long for them to realize this was a fucked up situation. Two of them ran away, and then RA posted notices around town asking for anyone who spotted Billy and Jimmy to capture them. And then they were spotted by a constable, and they got into a fight with them, and the constable got injured. And then they were in front of a judge. And they told their story, and the judge was like, "I'm sorry, what's happening?" And then they found out that there were 7 more shacked up behind the hotel, and they went and questioned them, and they appeared to not know that they were going to join a circus. So,
I mean, that seems weird, because earlier on you said he explained to them exactly what was going on, and they agreed to what was...
I said I didn't know.
I mean, at the time I was skeptical because of the language barrier and stuff.
Sure.
I was like, maybe they didn't fully comprehend the offer that he was making to them, but now it feels like...
Fame is a universal language. Who knows? I mean, how do you get there like, what's a circus? He's like, enough of that circus talk, come on. Leave them back here, they're fine. Sassy, enough. That's enough out of you.
Local papers jumped on the story, screaming about the injustice. The evening news accused Ari of kidnapping. Then a telegraph arrived from Queensland's chief inspector of police, who said they all went willingly and knew what the deal was. So the charges against Billy and Jimmy were dropped, and they were released back into the custody of R.A.
I mean...
Hey, you don't fuck with P.T. Barnum's fucking shit, even if they're people.
Those are the
get his
only
stuff.
charges you don't want dropped against you. You're like, please keep the charges.
Please, put me in jail.
Please,
Put me in
jail sounds great.
So,
Look, in Queensland's defence... No, I've got nothing, to be honest. Maybe the fact that it's really hot there all the time, and if your neck's already red, you think, fuck it, I've got the look. That's not a bad joke, actually. I could do that independently of this podcast in my house.
You'll be seeing that joke later tonight.
Dave, can you edit this chunk out?
Daddy's got a new hour cooking.
So, they all boarded a ship headed for the United States of America, and they arrived in San Francisco in April 1883.
Finally, to a place black people are treated better.
Thank you. They will live like kings now.
Yeah.
They rode a train across the country. On May 6th, they arrived in Baltimore, and the next morning, the 9 Aborigines were leading a PT circus parade through the city. Behind them were Zulus, Amazonians, Hotonots, Sioux, Nubians, Zulus, Georgia Coons.
Keep moving, keep moving.
That seems a little racist.
I love that we were all like, ooh, that's inappropriate. Let's go and get some cheese that has the same name.
Might be time to change that cheese's name. We've seen it. We're in the grocery store like, what the fuck's going on? Do you see what they're calling their fucking cheese? They got N-word bread. What's going on? The fuck are we?
There were also Arizona pickaninnies. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. That's not a thing. There are no pickaninnies, and they are certainly not in Arizona if there were. Redskins of the Klondike, not a thing. Japanese strongmen, contortionists, crocodiles, and then Jumbo the elephant.
But why?
It feels like you're reading out the lineup for fucking Splendor in the Grass.
Why would you put crocodiles right in front of an elephant when you have 9 groups of men?
Why would you not?
Because the people want a show.
Yeah, they want a show, man. It's a show.
Yeah. You think they're scared of mice? Buckle up.
During the parade, Toby, Billy, and Bob and Tambo danced. The others sang and clapped their boomerangs together. As they performed, the Zulus hissed at them. Already tension.
There's tension.
A newspaper wrote, the Nubians, Indians, and Zulus looked with disgust at the crowds that stood open-mouthed before the new arrivals. So they're jealous, I think.
How is that possible?
Hang on. They're jealous of the Aborigines.
Yeah.
Fucking
Cool new kids.
You know
cool
what?
names.
It's just, I'm always proud when Aussies dominate on the world stage.
Yep.
You know?
They're intimidated.
We're punching above our weights. Look at that. Fucking Zulus. Fucking take that, Zulus. I would have thought we wouldn't go up, but you know what? Fucking good on them.
You're about to meet Two Direction.
Fucking
The Zulus are like, we need a hit. Zulu boys.
our Chaka Zulu shit isn't flying anymore.
I like it. Maybe an acronym.
So, they
We
performed
can
in
be
their...
racist against Zulus because no one knows what they are.
Whoa. That guy... Wow. The audience just went, Will Anderson? The farm boy comes out.
Fucking Zulus coming to our farm.
You have a Twitter feud with the Zulu? Salon's involved?
So they appeared in their first big top performance. They threw boomerangs and performed dances, and R.A. spoke to the crowd. He called Sassy.
Well, it better not be Sussy. I've fallen in love with Sassy.
Princess Tagahara, daughter of the cannibal king of Queensland.
Oh, the royal.
So they're doing a little promotional, little adding on stuff.
Sure.
The first day, 30,000 people came to see them. They were the first Aborigines to come to America, and it was a big deal. Local papers wrote extensively about the cannibals.
So wait, the whole... Sorry, the angle...
Yep, the angle.
The angle is cannibal.
Yep, they eat people.
That's the can angle.
That's it.
Yeah, but it's just showbiz.
Yeah,
Right?
it's not real.
Like, I mean, it's not like Ozzy Osbourne was eating all the fucking, like, bats.
You mean the bats
You know the bat doves?
The bugs.
The bugs.
I love Bug Man. But so that's the angle. They're like, they eat people.
Yeah, they eat people. Well, that's exciting to see a cannibal. Come on. Have you guys ever seen a cannibal?
No, I don't think...
Well,
Maybe we have.
I don't know.
they're in America now. In this story, they're in America. Come on, get on board. The show is a huge hit. How could it not be?
I know how.
It was his most successful show yet. R.A. explained in an interview why they were so well behaved. They realize fully that their good behavior will be duly appreciated and properly rewarded by me. And as they know, I am the only one who can restore them in safety to their native wilds. So they act accordingly. Thank you. He's Irish.
I forgot about that.
The circus tour ended in October, and R.A. took them on a tour of dime museums. Like the
All
one...
these fucking dimes.
Like the one...
There's over 5 dimes in here. There should be more eventually.
Holy...
Don't eat each other, Saucy. Watching you, girl.
That's a fucking nickel! So... Like,
There's nickels in the dime museums. There's a lot of shit that ain't dimes in here. I mean, there's so much space. It's a table, fucking, you know.
Oofty Goofty was in a dime museum. That's the kind of place we're talking
That's
about.
right. So you know you're dealing with normal shit.
So they were touring small theaters in cities and towns all over America. It was pretty much the bottom of the bottom. A dime museum in Baltimore's most popular attraction was Abraham Lincoln's last bowel movement.
No fucking way.
Like, A, that's an attraction, but B, that's your most popular attraction?
Yeah.
Dude, what?
Hey kids. You know what we're doing today? We're gonna go see the last shit that Lincoln took.
Is that where the term Lincoln Log comes from?
You want me to build a house out of this? Don't touch that!
It breaks. It was said to be.
Hold on. That is fucking. Why?
Okay, well, it was said to have been taken from a chamber pot at Ford's Theater. The shit was mounted in a frame.
That could just be a
At the
random dude
theater?
shit.
How did they trace that back?
What do you mean? Look, it was mounted in a frame and had a certificate stating that it was real.
It was not.
Who wrote this certificate?
The guy in the bathroom.
What?
Who the pot?
This is not a real thing.
Yes, that was the last shit of Lincoln.
Was it a guy who was a big Lincoln fan who was like, I'm going to keep this shit, and then suddenly he fucking died and he's like, I've hit the jackpot? Is that what happened?
Or a guy who Lincoln just went to take a piss and he was like, I've got an idea. Here it is. He told me it was his. That'll be $500,000. You're going to want to frame that real nice, guys. Tighten that up, too.
Later, the shit was tested and was found to be a fake shit.
I called fake shit. I did call fake shit.
I knew it. I smelt something weird.
Yeah. It was actually from the 1920s, just a common dude's shit. Just a guy who shit and went, I'm gonna fucking make that a famous shit. Look how great that one is.
It was
This
John
should be in
Wilkes.
a frame!
It was John Wilkes' poop.
All the Aborigines learned.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. All
Helpful.
the Aborigines learned to speak English while in America because they mostly learned it from RA. They all spoke with Irish accents.
I know this story's fucked up, but adorable.
It's the greatest thing ever.
I mean, so far so good, actually, everyone. I thought this was going to go heaps worse than this.
Oh, it's gonna.
I mean, we've already framed shit.
They were reliant on RA for food, shelter, and medical care. They were said to love a variety of foods, especially tropical fruits, fish, and oysters. That's not a variety. RA also said that, quote, they are extremely fond of making small purchases of gaudy handkerchiefs and trinkets. Ceci and Jenny bought copper necklaces and jewelry in Chicago. Ceci was seen performing in pink knickerbockers. So
What
shit's
is
fucking,
happening?
it's awesome. She's got knickerbockers, they're pink. She's fucking having a good time.
They're like turning into Irish gypsies.
Then things started to go south.
Things.
I thought this was going to be the first nice one.
No.
Oh no, this is the one I was worried about doing in public.
I mean, after what I've heard already,
Right, we've had
that's disturbing.
I didn't think that anything would get a giant dwarf out of my mind, but now there's a frame shit. So...
Tambo and Little Toby became sick when they arrived at their next dime museum gig. The Aborigines were angry with RA, accusing him of bringing them to a strange country to die. The tall one with no name fell ill.
With still no
He'll be
name?
fine. He'll be fine.
See you, tall guy.
He's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
It's gonna
he
be fine.
dies now.
At their next stop in Pittsburgh, a reporter came upon RA spooning medicine into Tambo's mouth. RA told the reporter, "It's all I can do to keep them alive. Don't write that in the paper." On February 23rd, 1884, Tambo died in his hotel room in Cleveland. Oh. You thought this was going to go another way?
I didn't know Tambo was going to get so early.
Ceci was his lady, and she was not happy. She stopped eating the rest of the night and refused to take part in any sort of show. Ari was fucking pissed. After all he'd done for them.
The fucking lack of bloody respect.
Jesus Christ, they took you from your homeland and showed you the world like caged beasts. How could you not
Think of
repay
all
me?
the sights we saw. A framed bowel movement. That's it. You guys want to turn against me? Go ahead.
Give it a shot. R.A. told the reporter...
That's the tall one.
R.A. told the reporter, I'm having trouble with the creatures and wishes they were off my hand. He's a fucking monster, you guys. Tambo was the worst of the lot.
Okay.
So he's happy to be done with Tambo.
Oh, cool. So he's happy Tambo died.
Yeah.
Tambo.
It's like when Zane left. People were like, they can recover.
Yeah.
The next guy, the guy with no name died.
Yeah. Tall guy died.
Yeah.
Tall guy's happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys can't care about him. He didn't have a name.
That's why we kind of
We
fell in love
cared.
with him. Yeah.
That's what got us in.
Yeah. Tall guy?
If you guys are getting sad now, it's gonna get weird. Just so y'all know, we didn't do this. We're just telling a story about it.
Not a good sign.
We weren't involved. Arya quickly got the group out of town before the press became hip to the dying situation.
Move along!
He also wanted to make up for the cash he had lost because of the surviving Aborigines work strike. So he sold Tambo's body to Drew's Dime Museum.
Jesus Christ. What a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit, he should be in a frame. That's fucked. Selling his body. When do we get to see Tambo? Fucking Irish Aborigines. Where's Tambo's body? We want to say goodbye. We fucking miss Tambo.
So R.A. then took the show to Europe, where people had been in love with freak shows for a long, long time. They started off in London, where the London Standard wrote, although they are described as the lowest type of humanity, they seem very intelligent. You guys know this happened, right? You guys all seem really shocked that white people were horrible.
First I've heard of it.
So in Europe, they'd stay somewhere for a while. They spent a month in Brussels. During their entire stay, 2 anthropologists came and examined the Aborigines. They revealed that several of them had tuberculosis. It's fine. It's totally curable.
Yeah, no. That's an easy fix.
Only Billy and Jimmy had normal breathing. And given that Tambo had died of a chest infection, this didn't seem good. The Aborigines started to pick up French rather quickly.
What?
Because they were exposed to it constantly.
The accents are going to be off the charts.
Super geniuses.
Yeah, I mean, good God.
At one point, a French woman...
French-Irish Aborigines. Just like I told you, yeah, you know.
At one point, a French woman questioned Jimmy why he wore a nose bone, and Jimmy shot back, "Why'd you have holes in your ears?"
Good point. Have a good stay.
In each city they went to drum up excitement about the show, they would put on a boomerang throwing display in a park. This stopped in Berlin when Jimmy hit a man in the head with a boomerang.
That does sound like Australians overseas.
You know what the boomerang has in common with your husband? Neither's coming back. Really hit him hard. What are you talking to her about? Not now, sassy.
Next, the show went to Berlin, where they would be for 3 months. It was now apparent that the Aborigines were not really enjoying the limelight.
Why?
I don't know. It's weird, right?
Yeah, it's great.
It's a fucking sweet tour, though.
Yeah, dude.
It's a good gig.
Tours are tough.
Like, you guys have been to fucking Adelaide and Perth. They went to fucking Paris and Berlin.
I feel like that could be a dollop.
So in Berlin, R.A. sent an invitation to reporters to come and watch the Aborigines as they ate dinner.
Oh, what? Okay.
When they arrived, they found that the Aborigines were already seated around a table covered with a white tablecloth, and they were being served by a servant.
Just a regular day at the house.
This is how we do it with our man boy.
I thought you guys were coming at 7. Oh, you're early. Yeah, we're just having our 5-course dinner that they get every night.
We get
A lot of them will wheeze.
First time I've eaten meat in a month. So fuck you. The Aborigines were pissed. For some weird reason, they're upset that people invited to watch them eat. Each time a new reporter walked in, the Aborigines became more angry.
Oh, Jesus.
They finally put down the utensils and refused to eat.
Also, aren't they meant to be cannibals?
Oh, shit.
Shouldn't that be the only reason you want to watch them eat?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to fucking eat some people?
Yeah. No, yeah, he's just like cut up a bunch of meat. You're like, this is their friend Tambo. Right over there, they're finishing off tall guy.
Hey, that one's eating oysters.
Yeah. Those are testicles we shelled. Get them the fuck out of here.
Fair enough.
Who gave them oysters?
RA eventually had to bribe them to keep eating by giving them tobacco.
What is it? Wait, are there reporters watching this? Like, what the fuck's up?
They all stood around and wrote about it. It's a fucking great story. I mean, this is just great news back then. We watched them eat. Next, they were invited by a professor to come to the Royal Museum of Berlin. This was a treat. They were seeing many things they had never seen before, and they were greatly enjoying the tour, especially when they came across Aboriginal artifacts.
Uh-oh, somebody's gonna wake the baby.
But things went a bit south when they saw the display of a mummified Aborigine. The mummy had its knees drawn to its chin, wrapped in bark, which was a normal way some Aborigines were buried in Australia.
So what about that did they not respond to?
I know him.
But here's also what you've got to know in a cultural context. Like, Indigenous people, as part of their culture, don't like to see images of people who have passed away. So, like, if you're making a program that features, like, say there was a famous Indigenous singer from a band called Yothu Yindu who was Australian of the Year, and he, like, passed away, so it was a big news story, and they warned at the start of everything that, like, you know, it might disturb people because they don't like to see images, and essentially you've just done that.
Yeah.
Like, in real life.
So
Just
is that
like-
is that why they ate 8 people?
Dave. Dave, don't try to connect those dots. Imagine being the tour guide, though.
What are you guys so mad about? It's
I think
one
you
of your
guys will
buddies.
respond to this one right here. It's you guys. Oh, what? Do you want some people to eat? What's going on?
Right.
I'm very hungry.
I think I read about it. So they think that if they see a body like that what a bad spirit can come in them and then harm them. So probably not a good tour.
No.
Then Bob died, which right after the fucking tour, everyone's like, yeah, I fucking told you.
You know the museum guy was like, what are you going to do with Bob?
Now we've got 2, we can be creative.
Look, we could do a whole domesticated thing.
Oh my God,
They're
wait a
making
minute.
dinner of people.
Wait a minute. Salt and pepper shakers.
I'm loving it. We'll do a whole thing. Them having people over for dinner.
What?
Sorry, I shouldn't pitch it that hard, but let's just get that body of Bob. But I'm seeing a whole...
Tableau.
I'm retiring.
RA kept the show going in Europe. Now they were doing small shows in restaurants and pubs.
Who the fuck... What? Who would eat around that shit?
I mean, that's terrible. You're
Terrible.
just sitting there eating a fucking sausage and some guy's throwing a boomerang behind the bar.
Yeah. Like, we used to be opening up for Abraham Lincoln shit. Now this is walking dinner theater.
Where's that guy from?
He's from France and Ireland. Oh, I tell you so much. It's unbelievable.
Oh my God, where is your accent from? Are you Irish?
Top of the jour.
Oh, your French fries.
My favorite food. All I eat. No, I don't know what's happening now. It's gone crazy.
In Frankfurt, Jimmy dies.
Oh.
Yeah,
guys.
I'm already...
No, I think it's like it's great how everyone's got attached.
Yeah. Jimmy was our favorite.
Yeah.
So now there are
Other than
five.
tall guy.
Yeah. Tall
Tall guy.
guy.
Oh Lord. Oh yeah. Pouring out the beer.
I hope you're up in the sky with no name. Doing whatever you did, tall guy.
So now it's just Billy, Toby, Jenny, young Toby, and Sassy. He keeps the show moving. The next stop, Sunborn. Only 4 of them perform because Sassy is too ill. What
does she have?
She passes away on June
tuberculosis.
23rd, 1884. Did you guys think she was going to pull through?
No, when someone's too sick to perform, they're dying in this story.
She was buried in a Protestant graveyard without a coffin, just as her family in Australia would have wanted. Just put her in a hole. Oh, no, wait. That was sarcasm. Since there was no public graveyard, the Protestant graveyard was forced to take her. So even better. Ah, fuck, really? The dwindling number of Aborigines did not stop the large crowds from showing up to see them. Next, they were on to Paris.
To be honest, and I don't mean this in a mean-spirited way, but the less they are, the more demand there is.
They're rare.
Like, I mean...
Yeah, they get rarer every show.
Right,
every town, they get more rare.
They're
Yeah,
rare.
like, I mean, I'm not
it's a
saying...
little bit like the Beatles.
Yep.
You see Ringo now, you're like,
Right.
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
that...
always been cool.
Right.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but that is true, right? Because otherwise, if all 4 were still here, you would not give a fuck about Ringo.
Pish posh Ringo.
He's doing a train voice now. But, he's still here, so we love him.
Ringo taking a little shrapnel on the dollop tonight. That's right, Star. We're coming at you.
Finally.
Finally. Calling you out. Now I'm ready.
They went to Paris where Toby...
Done.
yeah.
Done.
Now all that remained was Billy, Jenny, and little Toby, who
Yeah.
they were all very oddly despondent.
Hang on, so I must have missed this earlier. Was there a Toby and a little Toby?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the big one...
No, there's a Jenny. No, there wasn't a big Toby. I don't think there might have been. Yeah, there was a Toby and a little Toby.
Oh, yeah.
He just died of tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis. A French anthropologist came to examine them. He said Jenny was very depressed, and Billy turned away whenever he was offered money. A classic sign of someone not doing well.
Yeah.
That's a great doctor.
He's like, well, he failed that test.
R.A. stopped using their names in show pamphlets because he didn't want people to know how many had died. Though the press was now assumed that Billy and Jenny would just hook up, even though they hated each other. And
You mean
Billy,
they had a whole, like, will they, won't they sort of Ross,
yeah,
Rachel
it's like
sort of
it's like a
thing.
Ross, Rachel, and Friends.
Yeah, okay.
What's going to happen with Billy and Jenny? Come on.
Tension.
But Billy was a ladies' man whenever...
I always thought that Billy was a woman in this story. I have not been following as closely as I thought I was.
No,
I
he's
was
a
like,
dude.
now there's 2 women left. This is very progressive. I was like...
And we're going to raise little Toby.
The first gay Aborigines.
Gaboriginals.
But Billy was always looking for a wife. Whenever he saw a young girl he liked, he would say, you and me and you.
Are you just now reading Bon Jovi lyrics?
Bon Jovi. Oh, my God.
Reporters wrote about how they should... speculation that Billy and Jenny had killed Toby, and that's why she was single, and that they ate him to hide the evidence. Look!
What?
I got nothing.
No, come on, he's delicious. What? It's a Toblerone.
One reporter commended them for washing.
I hope you're booing me and not the indigenous people in this story.
Right? Every boo we hear is a boo against them. Another reporter commended them for washing daily with soap.
Way to go. Amazing what you do. Yeah.
He said they were better than the Sioux Indians, who were really pigs.
Oh.
Okay, I feel like I could talk openly with you guys.
Right.
about other freak tribes. Ugh. Sue, more like sewer. Anyway, you guys are phenomenal. Just soaping and eating and breathing. It's unbelievable. It's fun to watch. Your wheezes are just so cute. Sick little hamsters.
Things somehow turned around. The three continued to tour Europe, and a reporter spoke to Billy, and he said that they all wanted to continue touring. Billy even came up with a new routine. The Glasgow Evening...
Now I feel like they're one of those bands where all the original people have left. Yeah. And it's like one guy from Little River Band who played the bass, but it's like, we're Little River Band. No, you're not. I still want to be on the road. I've got no other options.
Come on.
Oh, these guys are the Wiggles. There's like one left, like, I've got a mortgage. I speculated on the stock market more than the others. Even Dorothy is out. Fucking wake up, Jeff.
The Glasgow Evening News reported that Billy discharged half a dozen boomerangs fast, one after the other, so that they all circled in the air like so many birds.
Oh,
that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, that does
sounds so fucking cool.
Doesn't it?
They should have a Marvel movie about him. Boomerang Billy. We'll work on a name.
Coming back soon.
In Glasgow, they were examined by a doctor. Billy was immune to tuberculosis, while Jenny was symptom-free, and the young boy was becoming sick. It had been 3 years since they had left their home. They went to Moscow next and were greeted with the headline, "The Man-Eaters have come."
That'll sell papers.
But this is still a good fucking tour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now they're in fucking Moscow.
No, they're
getting
seeing
press.
shit.
They are like Pussy Riot a little
Who
bit.
is their fucking agent? I need to get on this shit.
R.A.
R.A., yeah. It was actually R.A.
Don't sign with him. No, I did. Nightmare. This nightmare.
The article said that the reason they had not eaten R.A. was because he was too thin.
So the Russian press, accurate as always.
Well, they ask the questions, you know? Oh, hey! If they're cannibals, why... This is my accent. This is my accent. I'm going with it.
Go.
If they're cannibals...
Wow.
Yes, finish your question. If they're cannibals.
Yeah. If they're cannibals,
If they're what? Sorry, you said cannibals.
If they're cannibals...
Now, this is like a not bright guy. Right?
No, I have no confidence with my public speaking.
You know, you've got an accent like Big Toby used to have.
I'm a big fan. Now I Borat.
Eventually.
Have you met my wife?
Sorry, did you have a question, sir? It's nice to meet you, wife.
My wife want to know why you not eat him.
Johnny, sorry, where are you from? Too skinny. Too skinny.
Don't say I don't try for you.
That should be animated like a werewolf turning like from human to werewolf. A reporter turning into Borat. This is happening. It happens again
now. So they left Moscow and they went back through the south of Europe, through Italy, and then ended up in London in 1887. And there, R.A. decided to end the tour. They went to New York. They are said to not to have wanted to return to Australia, but R.A. made them. Records show that R.A. Cunningham boarded a ship to Sydney on March 10th, 1888. And there's a record of him taking a steamer from Brisbane to Townsville on April 14th. But there's no paper trail for Billy, Jenny, or Toby, little Toby. A few months later, R.A. gave an interview to a paper in Melbourne and said he had returned them to their homeland. And that's where the tale of those Aborigines ends. 9 became 3, and they were returned. Next!
Oh, boy.
What's up? RA signed another contract with P.T. Barnum, this time for Samoans.
Oh, fuck. What?
What? They're bigger.
That's the problem with sequels. They always fucking miss the point. It's
go
always
back.
more explosions.
Gotta be bigger. And
It's gotta be bigger, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we need
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
Transformers.
Yeah. Thor's got a brother.
The Samoans negotiated a 3-year contract for 9 Samoans. He would cover their expenses and pay them $12.50 a month. At the end of 3 years, he would return them all to Samoa.
Yeah, all of them. Sure. Every living one of them. All one living of them.
They were a hit in America.
Oh, yeah.
Of course they were.
By the time they made it to New York, they were 8.
Trump's running for president.
What?
Huh?
We're down to 8.
Wait.
Hey, what?
Sorry. Sorry.
You guys were talking. We
What
hit 8.
happened?
Well, they went to New York. When they got there, they were 8.
A minute ago, weren't there some more?
Yeah, they were.
Don't Samoan that joke.
Another died when they reached Belgium in 1890. A third days later in Cologne. In Berlin, a wealthy woman talked 2 of the Samoans to leaving the group and hanging out with her.
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee that pitch was just that simple. She's like, do you just want to hang out? They're like, yes, for sure. Yes, absolutely. Anything.
Oh,
is
you
better.
betcha.
Yeah, yes.
Do you have
Yep.
tuberculosis?
Do you want it? We have a ton of it. If you don't need it, but we're overloaded.
She was seen driving around town with them in her carriage, but after a while she got bored of them and bought them tickets home on a ship. R.A. sued her for $100,000 for the, quote, loss of his savages.
Well, you know.
I think that's a
Yep.
that's a thing.
It's a
you
fine
can
name for a case. Yeah. Man v. Savage.
Nothing came of the case. By the time R.A. returned to New York, he had 5 Samoans. On the trip home, he borrowed $41 from each Samoan, and
Sorry, they're floating him?
Hang on, he's passing the hat around to the fucking Samoans?
Yeah. How are they? What?
that was all their money. He never paid it back. I need a just from each of you. I need a little something. I need a little something.
Little.
At that point, he gave them to another circus agent. R.A. said, quote, "I've got all out of them that I could. Now you take them and see what you can do."
Also not a great pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're offloading some Samoans.
Well, they're the fucking worst. No, I'm doing. So, how much? Best offer.
A new agent took them out, and one quickly died. He then abandoned the Samoans on a New York street.
What the fuck?
Wait, hold on.
How did that happen?
No, but hold on. That's what you do with Samoans.
do you mean, like, when you
in
say-
America, you just throw them on the street? Is
When
that
you
not-
say abandoned, do you mean like he was like, hey guys, this has been like, but you're going to have to find your own way? Or is he like,
No, he-
He's like, I'm gonna get a bagel.
He probably was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get a juice."
all right,
And
hey guys,
then-
is that the naked cowboy? And runs away.
What is naked? Hello. Hey, where the fuck? Hey, what the fuck?
Hey, what the fuck?
Hey, wait a minute.
But a journalist found them who recognized them,
Oh, okay.
and they were put
Pretty
on-
easy to recognize them.
Yes.
Are you the Samoans? Yeah, right?
They were put on a train to head out west, where they would get on a ship and be returned to Samoa. One died on the train trip. The other 3 made it home. You guys are like shocked every time.
Well, Dave, to be
this
fair,
point-
at some point we're thinking somebody's not gonna die.
So they went back to Samoa. 9 left, 3 returned. R.A. Cunningham returned to Australia in 1882.
Good, finally.
He was back to recruit a second group of Aborigines.
How is that even possible?
He arrived in Townsville in June 1892, but knowing who he was, Queensland authorities tried to make things difficult for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're too bad for Queensland in 1892.
The government said the Aborigines must understand what they're signing up for with RA, and he had to put down what was basically a security deposit for humans.
It's
5
amazing that it's not a moral thing. Like, no, the money.
No, we're gonna need a deposit.
Look, we're not going to take the money off your credit card, but you will need to put in your PIN. We're going to have a $100 hold.
You'll see the whole
Just
on
for
your account, but we'll
incidentals.
release it once
we'll
they're
release
back.
it once you.
When they come back, you can have your money back. It's fine. I mean, you're not going to do anything with them, right? You're not going to break them. So it took him a month this time, but he did set sail again with 8 Aborigines. Unfortunately for RA, the boat was full of religious types, and they were very upset with what he was doing. And below deck, the Aborigines were told by fellow passengers that they would not survive in the U.S.
Well, fucking good.
So they're not happy right now.
Why?
But in San Francisco, they sold out a theater.
Uh-huh.
All right. So they're fucking selling out shows.
All right. So
I don't know why you guys are all bummed out right now.
Well, I mean,
I got to be honest, it does remind me of the difference. Like, here's the thing. Like, most of the audience are really like, this is a horrible story, but I keep getting distracted by the fact that they're doing a good tour and they're selling out all
It
the
is,
shows.
honestly.
I know.
It is hard to... Like, they're doing good, you know. That's hard. Selling tickets. Signing merch.
But
Who should I make this bone out to?
these
I mean, we all compromise, is my point. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all make compromises to get ahead.
And picture them like if they're backstage being
Right.
like, these gummy bears, what are you talking about? This is not what we ordered.
Well, I mean, like, you know, the Beatles did all those hard yards in fucking Berlin, you know, playing like 10 hours a day and
with
stuff.
Tony Sheridan,
But that's getting their money in, but their time in, right? And maybe they're like, oh, well, maybe this will lead to something bigger, you know?
If we just picture that they're playing new stuff, I think it takes a fun turn.
I know you love the didgeridoo stuff, but here's something off my new album.
that sounds like the didgeridoo stuff. These Aborigines were different than the last group, though. They insisted they perform in their street clothes, not their supposed native garb, and they seemed to be enjoying themselves. Cunningham wrote a friend, I have not made much money out of the venture yet on account of the rainy weather. The blacks are well and happy, as they ought to be, seeing that they stop at fine hotels and do the block dressed like dudes. They're as jolly as clams in high water, and you would smile to see them cruising around the city in the height of fashion with polished patent leather boots on and big cigars stuck in their mouths.
Well, right. Okay, so
They're dressed nice.
they're just dressed nice, and
You got cigars.
okay.
They're cruising around.
They're aristocratic.
Well, back then, dudes were like guys who dressed fancy, like a Greg Barron. The shows were being negatively affected by the Aborigines' seemingly somewhat cosmopolitan look.
They are becoming divas.
R.A. said they were too civilized.
Oh, that's affecting the act.
Yeah, totally.
He then brought on a business manager, Frank Frost.
I bet this guy will be the worst.
The tour hit San Bernardino, where one of them passed away.
Guys, they're just gonna keep dying. I mean, I don't know anything, but they're. Let's not get overly invested in these guys right now. We can't go through that emotionally.
It's like watching a Civil War movie and you guys going, oh my God, another one died. This is not going well.
I like that they're connected to the story. I feel like it's right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's sad.
No, there's a lot of...
Now back to the
I get
jokes.
it.
It's good. They can go on that journey. They're a
told you.
mature audience.
This was going to be a hard one.
I've just been through this journey a lot, and it'll shred you. I'd say it because I care.
Hey, we did one...
You're like the person who buys your kid a kitten and goes, this will die in your lifetime.
Sorry, I probably should have brought that up a little more organically.
Yeah, and there's no Santa.
You most likely won't outlive this. You have a question?
So, again, they are invited to join P.T. Barnum's circus. But they weren't the same draw that Tambo and his group had been. 3 more.
They weren't the Aboriginals. like Badfinger.
3 more died on the tour.
Jesus. It should be called the Die Tour.
But RA continued on. They spent a long time in New York City where they experienced true cold for the first time. Now finding a place for them to perform with enough room for the boomerangs became a problem because it's so cold out. They went to the Bryant Park Hotel to perform. One of the women was missing, clearly ill, said reporters. The reporters arrived and recognized RA from his days with the Samoans. One said in front of the crowd, "This is the same man who brought the Samoans to this country in 1889 and deserted them." They asked if the Aborigines were being paid. Ari responded that they don't know what to do with money. So he's clearly concerned about his reputation a little bit. So now Dottie's on her deathbed, and the Aborigines do not want to go to Europe, especially after what they've heard from reporters. So R.A. leaves them with Frank Frost and just takes off. Then Frost signs him up for another tour with Barnum and Bailey Circus. In August, Tom came down with pneumonia in Minnesota, and he passed away. Now, there's four Aborigines left. A woman named Jenny and 3 men named William.
Just 3 bills and a Wendy? Fine, everything's fine there.
Bill?
I remember Jenny, though. She's from Northern Australia. Jenny from The Rock.
Yeah.
So, the circus tour ended, and they had to find a way to survive. They lived in New York City boarding houses and picked up occasional work at dime museums. Then Frost began a sideshow of the group at Coney Island, New York.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
correct response. Yeah. The Aborigines gave lackluster performances, partly because they were forced to do their show indoors in a tent, and there was not much of an audience.
And they're dying.
Right. Also, a bunch of them had died.
Also, they're all dying.
And the appeal of seeing Aborigines dropped to a new low. Then a man from Hawaii named Palini Pakaki came across this situation, decided to start a campaign to save them. First, he contacted the British ambassador and explained what was happening, saying the Aborigines were wards of the government of the colony of Australia. And the ambassador sent someone to investigate, and he questioned them. They did say they wanted to go home. Pakaki contacted the press. The New York Journal wrote a story with the headline, "Held in Slavery on Coney Island." So the heat is on, but the British government did not want to pay for their passage. Well, they don't have a lot of money.
Cool as always, the British.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, no, they'll be all right.
No.
No.
Yeah, no. Thank you.
What I love the most about that is the fact that, like, you know, when you tell your terrible stories on the Dollop about America, when you tell them terrible stories about Australia here, the only thing that gets me through these terrible stories is the thought they weren't really us or Americans, they were British people.
Right? Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Totally. So, the U.S. authorities did not want to take legal action because they thought Frost would just dump them in the street. So, then Frost just took them to Europe. Well, 3 of them. William was now on his deathbed.
Is there any
Not
other
that
bed?
William, the other one.
Yeah, not the William we were attached to. The other one. And the third one, still okay.
Now, since they were adamant that they wanted to go home and not to Europe, we can pretty much conclude that Frost told them they were probably going home and then took them to Europe. So they found themselves in Germany. There, Frost worked with a German showman, Herr Maas.
What? His name was Hamas? Fuck, the Illuminati's in everything.
But now they weren't doing shows. They were just in a small tent where people would come in and look at their tattoos and leave.
What?
They are phoning this shit in.
Yeah, this is sad.
Now, in Copenhagen, R.A. suddenly shows up, saying that the Aborigines are his and that he put down a deposit on them.
I mean, that's true, though. It's true.
It's true. He did do that. You guys are saying, factually true. your government had
Tough
to put
as it
down
is
a...
to say,
Yeah.
Deposit.
RA is right.
We're not saying it's morally right, but in the court of Judge Judy, he would.
Get out!
And then I tell you something, and this is where it gets a little weird, but
Sorry, this is where it gets a little weird?
you guys, he didn't get the deposit back, and you guys turned that into billions of dollars with investment. It's what is keeping your country afloat.
Now we don't know how to feel.
RA said Frost had stolen them away, and
Stolen
he tried
humans.
to take Frost to court, but again, not resolved. He keeps trying the court thing, and then they just took off in Europe again on tour. RA was next heard of in Canada, living in his mother's house. He wrote a friend saying that he wanted to get his hands on some Eskimos.
Dude. Imagine being his mom. You're like, so why are you thinking... Sorry. Are you thinking of doing anything else, maybe? Like,
Well, what's your...
well, it's just, you've done the people thing.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of people are loving this new sort of people are doing taxes. You heard of these tax things?
I know.
Maybe they might not be around yet, but still, anything but what you're doing. So maybe try something else.
Mom. Mom.
No. Well,
Hey,
let
Mom.
me...
Have you heard of Eskimos?
Yes.
Let's get some. We'll put them in a wagon, and we'll just take them around and charge people money to look at them. And we'll put fish in their mouths.
I feel like you're foreshadowing a little strongly.
One of the Williams died. Somewhere out on tour in Europe. That was his Jenny, and the
I
last
feel it
William.
every time. As a William, I feel one of these
Right?
Williams stuff.
Right? Hits harder. So it's just Jenny and one last William. Somehow they made their way to London. They were now alone. Frost had completely abandoned them. They were destitute. The police and charitable organizations would not help.
Yeah, well, why would a charity help them? Come on. That's the charitable.
And after some time, the government finally paid their fare back. They were met by Townsville police where they landed.
Why?
To
Good,
give
right?
them back their deposit.
Thank you.
Parade?
Because here in Australia,
No,
they
no, no.
discovered a new set of laws had been enacted. From now on, they would be controlled by the Aboriginals Protection and Prevention of the Sale of Opium Act of 1897.
You know, that act has a funny twist in it.
You know, my favourite thing about that was, like, even back then we were stopping the boats and they had Aboriginal people on them.
Yeah, so they went to live on a reserve, just like they always wanted.
Yeah, just like...
R.A. Cunningham wrote to a friend in San Francisco. He had gone to get some Eskimos, but it had not worked out. He wasn't able to get his Eskimos. He now wanted...
He was into it, but the other guy wasn't into it. He said, Esky, no. I've got $1 million. No, that's all of them.
They're just not that... They're just not Inuit to you. That Inuit... Anyway.
He now wanted $3,000 from his friend to go get some Hawaiians.
This is getting...
Hawaiians.
Quote, say 6 girls and 2 men, their hula dances startling and novel. Didn't happen. June 18th, 1902, R.A. showed up at Hogan's Undertaking in Cleveland. He had come to see his old friend Tambo. Hogan took him to the Western Reserve Medical College where the mummified body was kept.
They did keep Tambo. I called keeping Tambo, dude. This is tall guy all over again.
R.A. looked at the body for a few moments and then said, poor old Tambo. He then told Hogan, I am too old to go after freaks now. I went after Eskimos 2 years ago and froze my legs from the knees down.
Poor guy.
I am not well now and won't be for some time, but I'll never forget Tambo. and his cannibal friends.
They weren't even fucking cannibals.
They'd steal knives from the table and fight amongst themselves or with strangers. Once in a while, they'd go after me. They're like cattle. They followed one around, ate what was given them, and never showed delight except when they had fish or candy.
Candy!
Anyway,
By the way, they weren't having knife fights. They were playing That's Not a Knife.
Wait, they would only fight fish or candy, did you say?
yeah.
Okay. So Swedish fish to them would have been like...
Nothing was ever heard from R.A. Cunningham again. Recently, Rosalind Poignant found a photo from a 1905 of an Aborigine man playing with a puppy. He has a big smile on his face. It was taken on Pawnee Bill's Wild West show tour in the U.S. The man is clearly William. The William that did not make the trip from New York to Europe with the rest of the Williams. So he was out there on a Wild West show,
Was abandoned.
seemingly happy. I mean, compared to his friends, those Wild West shows were not like that would actually be an okay life. They all were like performers, and they were like no one there would.
Sure, that beats your culture. Yeah.
Well, no, it's better than going around and fucking sitting in a tent in Germany and have people
Watching
fucking-
everyone die on trains. Yeah.
Look,
He's created a low bar.
you're not a man. You're not a man until all your friends have died on a train.
You've always said that.
In 1993, J.C. Smith's funeral home. Yeah, 1993.
1993.
Heart of grunge.
Yeah,
Let
I said-
him do it.
1993. This is when they get into grunge.
Tambo and the Tambourines. Seattle.
J.C. Smith's funeral home in Cleveland, Ohio, closed. The staff was clearing out the building when they found the mummified body of Tambo.
Oh my god. Oh my god, are you serious?
I mean,
Is this weekend at Tambo's?
more human, please. Love another body human.
The staff was clearing out the building when they found the mummified body. Tambo was finally brought home to Australia in 1994, about 110 years after he left for the USA. He was buried in a traditional ceremony led by Walter Palm Island, a descendant of Tambo on Palm Island. His family, he went back to his family and they buried him the way he should be buried.
Wow.
93.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Oh,
The fucking original boy from Oz.
we gotta wrap out, right?
Yeah, we got to wrap out, but how do you guys feel? You've been fucking seriously dolloped.
Is that what you're doing now at the end? You've been dolloped.
Y'all just got dolloped, y'all.
Oh, gonna feel weird tonight. That was supposed to be a better show. I apologize, but
Are you
history's
doing
fucked up.
stand-up? What's happening?
What? I was walking away.
No, we want to thank everybody for coming out. We'll be out there signing stuff and taking pictures, whatever anyone likes, whatever you like. No
Downstairs.
Downstairs. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Poster sales downstairs. That's where we'll be.
Oh, yes, it's Gareth. Not Gary, stop it. Gare Force. Listen, I've got a bunch of stand-up shows coming up, and I want to see you there. We can hug. I will be at Rooster Teeth Feathers in Sunnyvale, California, April 18th, 19th, and 20th. Then I will be in Chattanooga, Tennessee, June 18th. I will be at Nashville, at Zanies, June 19th. I will be in Huntsville, Alabama, June 20th. I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia, June 21st, June 22nd. Then I will be in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, June 26th. Then I'll be in East Providence, Rhode Island, June 27th. Then I'll be in Boston, Massachusetts, and Boston, June 28th. That's 2 shows. I will be in Springfield, Massachusetts, June 29th, Rochester, New York, June 30th, and then July 5th through the 6th, Canada. I've heard your prayers, and I will answer them. I will be in Toronto. So come join me at the Comedy Bar. Go to GarethReynolds.com for tickets and information. That's right, Gare Force. We're calling you up. It's the big time. The big leagues. This went poorly.
What if you could find a home with the innovations of the future right now? A dream house designed with your every comfort in mind and built with the Earth's best interests at heart. Found in one of Denver's central historic neighborhoods with easy access to culture and everything else the city has to offer. So choose a place that's right for you and good for the world in a solar-powered home by Thrive Home Builders in the historic Loretto Heights neighborhood. Homes of tomorrow, here today. Starting in the upper 400s, models are open. Come take a tour or learn more at thrivehomebuilders.com.